It went from being hot today to nice and warm, beautiful, sunshiny day. And it's windy. I'm inside the house in the window. But it is like, I don't know what happened. Need somebody,
everybody. It's 7:10 p.m.
Someone to love, someone to love. Sweetheart, miss. Hello! West Alameda! It's after 7 o'clock. It's time to give a shout out and a thank you to all the frontline and the essential workers, to the doctors, the nurses, the longshoremen, first responders, the bus drivers, the truck drivers, the farm workers, those who work in the stores, the restaurants, the hotels, the teachers, counselors, parents. So please, if you can hear my voice, would you clap your hands, honk your horns, shout, make some noise. Frontline workers. Ooh, y'all, it got windy out here. Oh, man. I did not recognize. As soon as I opened the window, it was like the wind was blowing. Ooh, hey, Sharon. Hey, Paulette. Oh, wait. That wind was blowing on me, y'all. Whew. Sharon, what's going on? How you doing? What about you, Paulette? So, yeah, I need to get a little bit warm before I get to doing this thing. Okay, Sharon, go ahead and do that Bible study because that's important. And you, girl, you know I love you. One love, man. One love. Thank you for just showing up here. I appreciate you. You can come look at it later. All right. Let's see if I can put this right here like that. Okay. So, as always, I want to ask everybody to pray, to keep in prayers and in your thoughts all those who have died from coronavirus all over the world and here in the United States. And so according to YouTube, which is where I get all my information, in the world, we've had 2,510,723 deaths. And that was as of 6:30 p.m. So I'm sure it's probably been more. Ed Nash, what's up with you, bro? How you doing? Good to see you. And right here in the United States, it's 518,363. So keep them in your prayers and your thoughts. Keep in prayers and thoughts all those who have tested positive for COVID-19, people who are in the hospital for things that have nothing to do with coronavirus. I know, Ed Nash, you know, I know you've got family that's in the medical situation, so my prayers and my thoughts are going out to your loved one, to your son. And everyone else out there who's in need of prayer, you know, when I'm saying my prayers, I include one for everybody, even people who I don't even know. So prayers and thoughts to all of you. And today was a beautiful day. Man, it was like nice outside. You see what I had on. Beautiful day. The sun was shining. It was nice and warm and hot. And I even had on shorts. Y'all can see my leg, big old leg right there. Had on shorts, and I was outside, and I actually didn't even want to come in the house. I think I didn't even come in the house till like 4:30, and all I did was just sit out there and just people watch. you know, when you're stuck in the house a long time, you want to do some people watching, and that's what I was doing. I was doing people watching, and it was good. And the nice thing, I actually ran into 3 young men that used to go to Chipman Middle School where I used to work at, and I saw a teacher from the school. I'm sorry, y'all. So that's always nice is when you see, you know, when you see people, because, you know, when you're stuck in the house all the time, you don't get to see anybody. So, yeah, today was a beautiful day. Only tonight, as soon as I opened that window, whoo, the wind was blowing. Ooh, it was blowing. So, anyway, I want to just show you who I'm going to talk about tonight. First of all, let me say their names. Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Aiyana Jones, 7 years old, Francisco Serna, 73 years old, Patrick Warren Sr., 53 years old, Kwang Chung Kao, 33 years old. And tonight, this person I'm going to talk about, he actually did not get killed, but he was shot 7 times in the back. And he's in a wheelchair right now. So this is who it is. Jacob Blake, 29 years old, shot 7 times in the back, August 23rd, 2020, in Kenosha, Wisconsin. So now what I want to do is I'm going to play this on YouTube because it's better for you to hear from himself and also to see all the things they're talking about. Come on now.
Like I was dying. I was counting down the breaths. I was awoke the whole time.
It was a moment Jacob Blake thought he was about to die.
I was counting down my breaths and my blinks because I was just staring right at the sky, watching the clouds. I'm just like, God, I'm coming. I guess this is it for me, but it wasn't.
The 29-year-old speaking out for the first time, almost 5 months after being shot 7 times by police. You didn't resist.
I resisted to getting beat on. What I mean by that is not falling, not letting them put their head on my neck. That's all I was thinking, honestly.
Blake is now partially paralyzed from the waist down. A moment captured by bystanders, eventually going viral.
7 shots.
Encounter, marking the climax of a summer rocked by a reckoning. Protesters adding the name Jacob Blake to their rallying cry, joining those of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, with call for action echoing across America, from celebrities to athletes.
We are scared as Black people.
Activists demanding justice for the ever-growing list of Black victims shot by police.
I didn't want to be the next George Floyd. I didn't want to die.
In the moments before, on a hot summer day in Kenosha, Wisconsin, Blake had been celebrating his son Israel's birthday at the home of his son's mother, LaQuisha Booker.
He turned 8 years old that day. I'm cooking, just chilling, neighbors out, and ended up being an argument between my woman and the neighbor. I wanted to leave.
Booker didn't want him to leave with her rental car and called the police.
Today is his son's birthday, so I allowed him to spend a couple hours with him, but he's not giving me the keys to this rental, and that's all I'm asking for.
3 officers responded to what they thought was, quote, family trouble. Among them, 7-year veteran Officer Rustin Shesky.
Complaint says Jacob Blake isn't supposed to be there, and he took the complainant's keys and is refusing to get them back.
She decided that she didn't want me to take her car, the rental car. And I'm explaining to her, like, you know, my truck is in the shop. So I decided not to give her the keys. It was in her name.
On the way to the scene, officers are told there's a warrant for Blake on domestic violence offenses and sexual assault.
We have an alert at this address for 99 for that subject.
What are you doing?
when they show up?
At that time, I'm walking out. I hadn't done anything, so I didn't feel like they were there for me.
Records show that Officer Shesky recalls telling Blake, quote, "Let's talk about this," as Blake places one of the kids in the car. He then tells Blake he has a warrant and tries to arrest him.
They didn't say why they were there?
Mm-mm. They didn't say anything to me.
Did they tell you that
It had been over with.
Police deploy a stun gun multiple times. Blake pulls the prongs out of his skin. Officer Shesky and Blake end up in a physical altercation on the ground.
we see you walk away from the officers after they try to grab you?
At that point, I'm rattled. You know, I realized I had dropped my knife. I had a little pocket knife. So I picked it up after I got off of him because they tased me and I fell on top of him. His was in there, probably face on the window. I'm about to get in here and check on my kids. In the video, you hear them saying, drop the knife. I think a couple people were saying that, but I didn't hear none of that.
Blake turns away from the officers and walks around the front of the vehicle towards the driver's side door.
What are you thinking at that point?
I had picked my knife up. I'm like, I'm not really worried. I'm walking away from them, so it's not like they're gonna shoot me. I shouldn't have picked it up. At that time, I wasn't thinking clearly.
You said that we can just look at the video. The video tells everything. There are going to be a lot of people who look at the video and say, in the video, you're walking away from the police. So why didn't he just stop and do what the police are asking him to do?
I couldn't hear that. All I heard was screaming. My ears was ringing, so it was all muffled.
If the police were fighting me, if they were tasing me, I would stop walking away from them, and they would have my attention.
And when they tased me, I had my hands up. So
Officer Shesky's attorney insists, quote, the officers were compelled to use force once Blake began actively resisting their verbal commands, adding that the claim the officers didn't say anything to him during the altercation is, quote, preposterous. As Blake opens the door of the car, Officer Shesky claims Blake drove the knife toward his body. Blake denies this. Officer Shesky then grabs Blake by the back of his shirt and shoots him 7 times.
put my hands up because I didn't want him to shoot me in my face or in my head or nothing. So at that time, I put my arms up, and he just kept shooting.
What's going through your mind?
My babies are right here, my babies. So after he stopped shooting me, I said, Daddy, love you, no matter what. It was the last thing I said to him at that point. I thought it was going to be the last. I thought it was going to be the last thing I say to them. Thank God it wasn't.
According to records released by the Wisconsin Criminal Investigation, in the past, Blake was arrested for attempting to flee police, and for resisting arrest, these charges were dropped.
There are critics who are going to say, well, he's had run-in with the law in the past. He doesn't deserve any sympathy.
If you're a black person in America and you're not perfect, then they say, oh, it was justified. It's like our children have to be angels.
Days after the video was posted, voices calling for justice grew louder. The city of Kenosha enraged. By day, peaceful demonstrations calling for the officers to be held accountable.
This country is kind of like a box of matches right now, and we're just the match that got lit.
By night, parts of the city brought down in flames. The riots turning deadly when armed vigilantes clashed with protesters.
We're protecting from the citizens, and I just got pepper sprayed by a person in the crowd.
During the unrest, Kyle Rittenhouse, who was 17 at the time, shot 3 people. 2 later died. He was arrested the next day and charged with multiple counts of homicide. He has pled not guilty to all the charges, claiming he acted in self-defense. But now Rittenhouse, who's currently free on a $2 million bond, is making headlines yet again. Prosecutors are seeking to amend the conditions of his bond after images and videos surfaced last week. The photos show the 18-year-old flashing signs associated with white supremacists and being serenaded with a song allegedly associated with the far-right group, the Proud Boys. His attorney denies any association with these groups. Many are comparing the treatment of Rittenhouse's arrest with Blake's.
17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse. He is accused of killing 2 people at a protest over your case. And he walks past cops. He has an assault rifle. Have you seen that video?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
When you see that, what is your thoughts when you see something like that happen?
Again, it wasn't a surprise to me. It was devastating. I mean,
Say it.
he's white. That's the difference.
There are 2 justice systems that govern America, one for black America and one for white America, which says where black people shoot first, ask questions later.
Last week, the prosecutor declined to press charges.
No Kenosha law enforcement officer in this case will be charged with any criminal offense.
He said Officer Shesky was justified in his use of force because Blake was armed with a knife, refused orders to drop it. Officer Shesky's attorney, in a statement, insists that, quote, race had absolutely nothing to do with the officer's actions. Blake was given every opportunity to comply with the officers, and he repeatedly chose not to. Shesky and the 2 other officers involved in the shooting remain on paid administrative leave.
Of course they do.
What did you expect when you knew that the decision was coming up on if they were going to file charges or not?
I knew they were engaging in the intellectual justification of discrimination. As Martin Luther King said in the letter from the Birmingham jail, just because you say it's legal, that don't make it right. I mean, Black Lives Matter, America, and we keep giving you exhibit after exhibit after exhibit, yet you continue to tell us that we're not worthy of equal justice.
Blake and his attorney said he planned to file a civil suit against the Kenosha Police Department. Almost 5 months after the incident, Blake says he is now focusing on healing.
Unfortunately, I need help all day. My mom, she's helping me get in and out of the bed. She helps me do a lot of stuff. It's changed 100%.
And we know your kids who were in the car. Have you had any conversations with them about this since it all happened?
When they seen me, they couldn't believe I was alive. My 8-year-old was just staring at me, you know. I've explained to him and broke it down to him, like, Daddy can die, but for some reason I didn't that day.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow. So, a couple things I want to talk about in regards to this whole case was, first of all, the attorney was saying there's 2 justice systems, and that is so true. There are 2 justice systems in this country, one for us and one for them. I always spell out justice, and justice is spelled Justice, which is for them. Justice for us is spelled Justus, just us. So, yeah, I'm not surprised by the way this went down, you know, but, you know, hey, Sandra, hey, Jan, Mark, what's up? It shouldn't be like that. This was supposed to be about for all of us, and it's not like that, but, you know. Then you also got to look at the situation with Rittenhouse, the little 17-year-old white boy, Proud Boy, white supremacist. Yeah, he I guess in Wisconsin it's open carry. Okay, and so him and his the white supremacists, they all showed up to protect property. Can you imagine for 1 minute what would have happened if it had been Black Lives Matter people carrying guns, and this is in an open carry state? It would have been a whole total different situation. Okay, And then you look at that scene where the police are driving by in armored vehicles and all this other stuff. He's got his hands up in the air, got his automatic weapon right there. He doesn't even get arrested. I think that scene right there just basically says it all. And Sandra, I'm just like you. I'm not surprised, but at the same time, that's my little alarm telling me I can't stay on here too long, to talk too long. But it's this whole thing of the perception that the United States government wants to project to the rest of the world is that we are all about equality and this is a freedom-loving country and we have rights and all this other kind of stuff. The reality is something totally different from what's going on. Now, if we want to talk about Jacob Blake and his actions and what led to him, well, I don't know why he picked the knife up. I don't know. Is it something I would have done? No. But then I'm older than 29 years old too. But that doesn't mean anything. I would like to think and I would like to believe that I would not pick that knife up, that I would have sense enough not to touch the knife. I would like to think and I would like to believe that I would have stopped. Okay, but it's easy to second guess what Jacob Blake did. Okay, and as far as, when he was talking about, well, my truck was in the shop and, I got to go to work and I'm just going to take the car. I'm not even going to comment on that. It's not his. That was his lady. That was his woman. That was the mother of his child. She was the one that rented that car, and he just decided he was going to keep the keys. So, I'm going to say it. He brought that on himself. He made the decision he was just going to take off with the kids in the rent-a-car that wasn't in his name. And according to his, and I don't like to use the word baby mama, according to the mother of his son, she said, I just want the keys. Which basically means I ain't trying to have him go to jail. And as far as that warrant that he had out, I don't know nothing about all that either. If he had a warrant and he knew he had a warrant, it would have been like the last thing he wanted to do is try to have any kind of interaction with the police. But I do believe him when he says he didn't even know that warrant was there, because a lot of times, you get warrants and you don't even know there's something going on. So, anyway, that's my thought on it. I don't know what y'all think, but that's what I think. They say every action has a reaction. So Jacob Blake, I'm not saying he deserved to get shot. Of course not. I'm just saying, I'm saying is that there are two different justice systems in this country. And I'm saying, look at the difference of what they did to, Jacob gets shot 7 times in the back. 7 times in the back. And he did have a knife in his hand. I didn't see him try to lunge at the police with the knife, okay? But, and I agree with you, Sandra, it's still injustice, and it would really, regardless of whatever action Jacob Blake took, it was not enough for him to get shot in the back. Now, if he had the knife and he was coming up at the police with the knife, maybe I might have thought something different. But he didn't, he wasn't like literally trying to attack the police with the knife. But two different. It's y'all remember that book, Tale of Two Cities? Remember that about the French Revolution and the guy who, y'all. Well, those of you who read books like that, Tale of Two Cities. It's like that. This is like a country of two justice systems. One for them and one for us. So I'm gonna let y'all draw your own conclusions. I've given you my opinion, of what I think. That's what I think and how I feel about it. And whatever your opinion is your opinion. And that's why I put that on YouTube. I put the YouTube on here so everybody could get an idea to look for themselves. Yeah. So like I said, this is an ongoing situation, ongoing system. Okay, so also look at the movie on Netflix or the TV series on Netflix called Amend, A-M-E-N-D. It's on Netflix. Also look at the one called The 13th Amendment. Okay, these are really good TV documentary series that everyone should take a chance, the opportunity when you get it to look at it. Okay, so Mabuhay, Amandla, Ashe, Hokahe, Harambe, Keviva, Mahalo, Shalom, Namaste, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam, Wakanda forever. Hey y'all, wear that mask. I was out, like I said, I went out today. It was a beautiful day. I had my mask on. Wear your mask. I'm going to go get my, shot, coronavirus shot, Tuesday. Everybody got to do what they want to do. I have friends who say they're not going to do it. And I have friends who say they are going to do it. So whether you are or whether you're not, it's all good. Just, stay safe. Stay safe, stay strong. One love, all of y'all. And I'm praying for you. And I hope you pray for me and mine, because I'm definitely praying for you and yours. And we out of here.